Hello, 8th standard children. Now we are into the third week of June, isn't it? Hope you all are watching the videos uploaded by all the teachers with the same excitement and enthusiasm as you used to do in the previous 2 weeks of June. Don't let the drive sink, because it is the very same drive that takes us a very long way, far, far in the journey called life. Even I have not let my energy come down. I am standing before you with the same energy, same passion, drive as I used to have in the first class. So let me get started. Are you ready for today's session? Yes. So last class, I think I will give you a recap. We studied about matter, properties of matter, the states of matter. In fact, solid, liquids and gases are the three states of matter. Now, I'll continue from where I stopped. In the book, there is a table 4.2. Please have a look at that figure. You can see 3 columns, solid, liquid, gas. What they have asked you to do is you have to tick in the appropriate boxes. So you have to write this table in your file. Now I will give you a detailed explanation what you have to do, where you have to put tick and where not. For that you have to be very attentive, okay? You are learning all this for the first time. As I have been saying, first time you are learning, so be attentive to my class. Now this is the very same table which has to be written in your file. Now what is the first point here? Has mass. Okay, I will start from that end. Do you remember the experiment, balloon experiment? One portion going up, other went down. So you know air has mass, that is gas has mass. It is already proven. So I will directly put a tick. I hope it doesn't need an explanation. Gas has mass. Now comes the next one. Do you want me to tell about solids? Okay, I'll tell you about solids first. See, you can take any solid for that matter. Let it be a chalk, or let it be a lead, or let it be a book. Any solid. When you hold it in your hand, you can feel the mass, isn't it? All the solids in this universe has mass. You can feel it in your hand. Mass is just like weight. Though in 8th standard both are different, but now you can assume that it is weight, okay? So all the solids also have mass. You can actually feel the weight. When you hold it, I can feel it. Even if you hold a pin, it has mass. So all the solids have mass. So I will put a tick over there. Now, what about liquids? Do they have mass? Now suppose your mother, she tells you, go and buy 1 kg of coconut oil from the shop. What the shopkeeper will do? He will weigh and he will give you 1 kg of oil. Now suppose next time your mother demands for half kg, you will go and report, he will give you half kg. That means liquids also has mass that can be calculated. So I will put a tick over there. Is it clear? Now children, you all know the 3 states of matter. They have mass as well as volume. We studied in the last class, matter is anything that has mass and volume. So this is understood. All the 3 I have put tick because it has mass. Now I will come to the next row. What is that row? Has definite volume. Now can I ask you something? I have taught you it has volume, all the 3 states. So I could have easily put a tick in all the columns, but I cannot do here because of this word definite. You know the meaning of the word definite? What is the meaning of the word definite? Definite means fixed. Definite means fixed volume. Okay, so because of this word, I cannot put a tick in each and every column. In this column, I will be putting a cross. But in these 2 columns, I can put a tick. Wait. Don't hurry, I will teach you why. Now coming to the first one. Solids, I have put a tick, that means they have a definite volume. So you know solids have volume. Remember the first experiment, stone? In this universe, all the solids, wherever they are, be it wood, stone, pin, anything for that matter, helmet, scooter, bottle, paper, scale, it needs space. It has volume, definite volume. There is no change in it. Okay, so you know about it. Solids have definite volume, fixed volume. It is not going to change. Clear? If I take a stone and keep it here, if you take the same stone and keep it in your house also, it will have the same volume. Clear? So I put a tick over here. Now comes liquids. Liquids, they have volume, but definite volume they have. That is why I have put a tick here already. Want to know how? Okay, have a clear look into this bottle. Now suppose this is 1 liter bottle, okay? Now there is half liter of water in this. How much? Half liter of water. So I know this bottle has half liter, this has definite volume. Now can this half liter water turn into 1 liter? Can it reach the brim on its own? No. To make it reach to the brim, I have to fill another half liter. This is half. If I add another half, it will become 1 liter. So it will reach the brim now. So I know this is now half liter, and when it is full, it will become 1 liter. So this is definite volume. Okay, one more example I will tell you. You have seen milkmen supplying milk to each and every house. They have cans with them, isn't it? Half liter can, then 1 liter can. Please look at this figure. Okay. Now if you ask for half liter milk, he will take the half liter can, pour milk and pour it in your vessel. And if you ask for 1 liter milk, he will pour the milk in the 1 liter can and he will pour it in your vessel. Okay. Now if you are asking for 1 liter milk and if he is using the half liter can for that, giving you half liter, you know you are being fooled. Will you take that and come home? No, you will say, hello cheta. So you know half liter contains less quantity, less volume, 1 liter takes much more space. Got an idea? Okay, one more example. Now many of your parents may have bike or cars. We fill petrol, isn't it? Now you go to the pump. When you fill, you easily know when it is half tank and when it is full tank. So you got an idea about liquids, isn't it? When that is, they have a definite volume. That is definite volume for solids as well as liquids. So I have put a tick in these two columns. But in this column I have put a cross. Why? Gases, they don't have definite volume. Remember, they have volume but not a definite volume. Now you are sitting in your, maybe in your bedroom and studying chemistry. Having a look at this video. Okay, now suppose you have a perfume with you handy. You are spraying perfume and your mother is in the kitchen. She will automatically come and have a peek into your room. She will know that her child has sprayed perfume. How did the gas molecules reach there? Can you say to the perfume that you leave here, don't go to the kitchen? No, they will never obey that. Gases never have a definite volume. They can never stay in one room itself. You are breathing oxygen, isn't it? Can you say oxygen be only till this portion, don't go there? No. They do not have a definite volume. They can go anywhere. For example, if I fill gas into this, suppose this is my water, okay. If I fill gas, you cannot ask the gas particles to be here. They will reach to the top within second. Okay, now we got a clear idea? Okay. So, hope these two portions are clear. This way, solids, liquids, gases have mass. Solids and liquids have definite volume. Definite means fixed. Okay, half liter oil and 1 liter oil you can easily identify, isn't it? That is definite volume. Now if you need 1 liter oil and if you take a smaller vessel, will that accommodate in that smaller vessel? No, you need to take a bigger vessel. Clear? Okay, but gases, they never have a definite volume. See, when I used to teach this portion in my earlier batches, I used to tell them a story. So I thought I will tell this to you also. Once Emperor Akbar, he asked Birbal, you know Akbar Birbal stories. So he asked him, can you tell me the exact number of crores in my kingdom now? So Birbal was really, it was an embarrassing situation for him. He just said a number, for example, 20,000. So Emperor Akbar asked him, how could you say that correctly? If there is 20,001, Birbal is always ready with answers. He said, in that case, Emperor, 1 crore might have flown in from the neighboring kingdom to our kingdom. Okay. Then he asked, if it is 1 crore short. Immediately Birbal replied, that means 1 crore has flown from our kingdom to the next kingdom. So gases are also like that. We cannot keep them stationary in one place. They do not have a definite volume. They keep moving. Okay, is it clear? Now, the next point is has permanent shape. Permanent shape means what? Permanent is always the same. There is not going to be any change. Can you tell me, solids, do they have a permanent shape? Can you put a tick here? The same. Yes, you can put a tick. Take any solid. Now this is a chalk in front of me. It has a shape, isn't it? Permanent shape. Will the shape change into some pentagon suddenly? No. Shape is always going to be permanent. You are holding a mobile in your hand now. What is its shape? Rectangular. Now if you go to Palakkad, will the shape change? Will the shape of a mobile change? No. If you take it to Australia, Switzerland also, the shape is going to be the same. So solids have a permanent shape. Clear, children? What about liquids? Next is liquids. Do they have a permanent shape? Liquids do not have a permanent shape. They take the shape of the container. Clear? Liquids do not have a permanent shape. They take the shape of the container. For example, if they are in the beaker, they take the shape of the beaker. If they are in the form of a bottle, they take the shape of the bottle. And if they are in the shape of a bucket, they take the shape of the bucket. Clear? So liquids do not have permanent shape. They take the shape of the container in which they are poured. Clear? So here you have to put a cross because they do not have a permanent shape. When water is dropped by mistake, it will flow. Can you tell water flow in a circular shape or form a triangle or stand in a straight line as you stand in the assembly when our school holds assembly some mornings? No, you cannot. You cannot say oil also to form shapes and go. Petrol, diesel, nothing. They do not have permanent shape. Clear? Now what about gas? It is clearly understood. Gases, they do not have permanent shape. The air that you breathe, that is oxygen. Can you see? Oxygen is going in through your nose. Can you see the shape of that? No. Gases do not have a permanent shape. Clear? So I hope this table you all have understood, children. Again I am telling you, solids, liquids, gases have mass as well as volume. But because of this word definite, you have to be very careful. Solids and liquids, they have definite volume. Gases, they never have definite volume. So when you fill gas in balls or balloons, you can see it expanding. It goes all over. You cannot say only stay here till the half of the ball is filled. No, it goes on moving. Permanent shape. Solids have permanent shape, but liquids and gases do not have permanent shape. Now, I am moving further with the next point that is there in your textbook. That is, matter is made up of crores of tiny particles. Crore, kodi kanakam. Clear? Next point is, matter is made up of tiny particles. Now, to prove that, I have to show you something. Please be attentive. Clear, children? Now, again, this bottle is helping me a lot. Now, I have taken water in this bottle. I have added 2 to 3 crystals of sugar in this. Sugar, Pandasata. So, when you add, it will go to the bottom, isn't it? It will straightly come to the bottom. Sugar, you know what is the taste of sugar? It is sweet. So I added 2 to 3 crystals of sugar. If you want, you can add more. Now I will stir it, shake it. Okay, I have to stir it, shake it continuously for 1 minute or 2 minutes. What will happen? Can you see the crystals of sugar here at the bottom? No, you cannot see. Where did they go? They cannot fly away from the bottle. They are inside the bottle. But in what form? Okay, now when I taste water from the top portion, suppose I take 1 teaspoon of the water from the top portion, it will be sweet. How did the top portion become sweet? Water, you know, it is tasteless. It doesn't have taste of its own. Now I added only maybe 3 to 4 crystals of sugar. I added it here down, it went down. But after a few minutes, the whole solution became sweet. How was that possible? I'll tell you, the crystals of sugar has spread uniformly throughout the solution and it has become sweet. How? In the form of tiny particles. So sugar crystals are uniformly distributed all over the solution in the form of tiny particles. That is why when I added it here, the whole solution became sweet. This portion also is sweet. Okay, I have one more example. If I add salt, you know what is the taste, isn't it, of salt? Uppa. Okay, I added 2 or 3 crystals of rock salt. I again stir it, shake it. And when I taste the top portion, it is salty. Actually, the crystals were down. How did the top portion become salty? Because crystals of salt are uniformly distributed throughout the solution in the form of crores of tiny particles. When I added sugar, the solution was sweet, isn't it? That means the whole particles got the property of the original substance. Original substance, when it was sugar, particles also had sweet taste. When I added salt, particles also got the same state of sugar. That means the same salt. Same properties of salt. Okay? So don't confuse with the salt and sugar. I will make it clear once again. When I added sugar, the solution became sweet. When I added salt, the whole solution became salty. Because the particles have the properties of the original substance that is added to it. Now one more example is there in your book, I will tell you. Now there they have actually demonstrated it using crystals of potassium permanganate. Crystals of potassium, I will write it here. Crystals of potassium permanganate. Okay, these crystals of potassium permanganate are violet in color. Potassium permanganate crystals are violet in color. Now when they are added to water, I am just adding, again I take my bottle, I am adding 2 to 3 crystals of potassium permanganate, they are violet in color. Now when I add potassium permanganate crystals to this, I have added it here, I will stir it again, shake it. The whole solution becomes violet in color. How did that happen? I actually added it here below. But after a few minutes, I can't see the crystals. Where have they gone? They can't disappear from the bottle. They are there inside in the form of tiny particles. And that tiny particles also have the properties of the original potassium permanganate crystals, that is violet color. They are moving all over the solution and giving the whole solution the violet color. Is it clear, my dear children? So, what did I teach you today? First, about the table. This table has to be written in your file, and then I taught you about this point. Matter is made up of tiny particles. Please listen to me when I am reading. It is there in your textbook. You have to write this in the file as well. Each crystal is made up of crores of tiny particles and these particles have all the properties of the original substance. When I added sugar, the whole solution became sweet. When I added salt, the whole solution became salty. When I added violet colored potassium permanganate crystals, the whole solution became violet in color. Got an idea? Understood? So matter you studied, states of matter you know, and now you also know that matter is made up of tiny particles. So I think I will wind up the session here. As I said before, we will go slowly, part by part. I just don't like to bombard your head with a lot of concepts. Slow and steady wins the race. So take care of your health, my dear children. Always follow the guidelines. Till I see you next, it is bye-bye from me. Thank you. Bye.